number you chose is it was 7, right? Yes. Are we live? Hi guys, this is Aditi here, and we are here as a part of the finale round for It's Debatable, the parliamentary debate competition. And I am Aditi, going to be your moderator for the evening. Mr. Rajiv here is the judge, and we will talk more about him and his achievements later in this conversation. And we have our top 10 finalists. A huge round of applause and kudos from my side for all of them for performing so well in the previous 2 rounds, and braving their ways through difficult and easy and smart all sorts of topics. Talking about It's Debatable, it's one of the flagship events of our competition of the event FamJam 2.0 that we have done, and I can't express how delighted I am to see all of you here. Now, give me a second, please. I will be. Just a second. So, and now we start with the sizzling, enchanting, and raunchy round of It's Debatable. The finale round will be a spiced extempore format debate where every student will get 1.5 minutes of speaking time on stopwatch wise. Supriya, please keep the stopwatch ready and let us know by speaking it out and putting it on the chat when the participants' 1 minute time is over. The 30 seconds that they get is for wrapping up, but that is the maximum time that you get. The topics will be decided on spot by random number generation and choosing to keep the game fair and square. Every student will get to know the topic 2 minutes prior to their turn. Basically, they will get to know the topic when the person before them starts speaking. This is an extempore, so prepare that you will not be, so be prepared that you don't have to prepare a lot on your topic and you have to speak on spot. Keep your confidence and presentation up, guys. Rajiv here will be judging you all on multiple parameters, and I'm sure that all of you are going to be performing very, very well. Now, coming to talk about our esteemed judge for the evening, Mr. Rajiv Kacholia, founder of Speech Debate India. Hi, Rajiv. Mr. Kacholia brings 25 years of global experience in entrepreneurship, investments, and research and development. He has completed over 22 billion US dollars of transactions across 5 continents. He has led investments and R&D in agricultural technology that successfully naturally enhances crop yields for grain and vegetable farms. Mr. Kacholia has served as the president of the board of American School of Bombay and on the leadership team of Stanford University's India undergraduate applicant interview process. He studied engineering, sociology, and finance at Stanford University, graduating with honors. He was the first undergraduate student accepted to take courses at Stanford Law School and the finance curriculum at Stanford Business School. He was the back-to-back state champion 2 years in a row in high school in the state of Illinois, US. Speech and Debate India was founded by Mr. Kacholia, and they have so far taught grade 1 to 12 students online across India and abroad, exclusively by US instructors. They help empower students like yourself to develop their unique voice and engage in fun regional, national, and international tournaments, including the ones at Stanford and Harvard University. He founded Speech and Debate India as a social impact initiative to help India's brightest students develop their voice. He's here today to judge and advise us all on how to further our public speaking and debating skills. An absolutely august pleasure to have you here with us, sir. Well, that was the brief description and introduction, guys. Now, without further ado, we will now be starting with our debating rounds, and I will be putting forth the topic for Ayushi while I introduce her. Rajiv, we have a go-to from you? Okay, wonderful. Okay, so Supriya, you have the topics for all the candidates. Can you put the topic and time it out to 2 minutes for their preparatory time? We'll just start with 2 minutes for Ayushi while I introduce her, and then she can have her turn to speak. Oh, I'm so sorry. My bad. I completely forgot. I was still following the list. Yes, we're starting with Anmol. Yes, absolutely. We have Supriya with us here, right?
Yes, Aditi,
Yes.
I'm here.
Yes. Supriya. So, guys, according to the numbers that you all given, so what we did was we arranged them in an increasing order, and the topic list, which we already had prepared, has been earmarked to it. Now, the topic that you will be getting is just a part of that list, and nothing has been chosen by us. I will let you know more about this process later in the event, so that we're not revealing the topics for all of you right here. Okay. Supriya, can you please put the topic out there for Anmol?
It's there in the chat box.
Okay, wonderful. And time it out to 2 minutes. Guys, Anmol here is one of our finalists. And to talk about him, oh my God, this is terrible of me to just have a list and then give me a second while I fetch introduction for Anmol, guys, because I was prepared with Ayushi's first. But anyway, nonetheless, we can. Okay.
Anmol, we've started with your 2 minutes.
You just time it out, Supriya. आप अपना stopwatch चालू कर लो.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I took that as well.
Okay. So, guys, Anmol here is from Mysuru, and the fun fact that he's mentioned about himself is that he loves constellations so much that he has glow-in-the-dark stickers and stars and everything else in his bedroom. That's wonderful. We also wanted to know some fun fact about your debating and your public speaking, history and past. But I'm sure we will get to know later in the event about that. Supriya, how much time do we have left for Anmol?
We have 1 minute 15 seconds to go.
Okay, cool. So, meanwhile, guys, Anmol is preparing. Rajiv, tell us, how have you been? And first of all, that wasn't first of all, of course, but our extreme apologies for the delay. We've been trying to set up this YouTube streaming thing for our audience, and there are lots of students out there from schools and colleges who are live watching this event, and they're looking forward, I'm sure, to hear what you have to speak about your vast experience.
Absolutely. Whenever there's time, we can discuss that further. So, and good luck to all of the students right now for the competition and the event ahead.
Also, we would love to, probably after the event is done, we will get some feedback from you on the format that we prepared.
Sure.
Do not stick to the original one, because we realized that all of the participants came with the expectation of something fresh and new, and also a few of them are trying their hand at debating, their mouth at debating, or whatever, at debating for the very first time. So, yes.
Aditi, we have elapsed Anmol's time.
Okay, Anmol, we will now be.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, let's have you start with your 1.5 minutes, and you will be getting a warning at 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am. So my topic was, should freedom of expression have limits? I'd like to begin with a quote from Winston Churchill. Some people's idea of free speech is that they are free to say what they like, but if anyone says anything back, that is an outrage. So that is what, that's a quote by Winston Churchill. So he elaborates on that people are all fine as long as you're, talking about freedom and you're talking about the speech that they have in terms of their freedom. So that was what he said about. So there, when it comes to that, he said that, people now are totally free to talk. Means everyone can have an opinion, but when their opinion is criticized, that's where, things take a different route. And not everyone's really happy to hear that, because as an individual, everyone has an urge to change something, or a urge to, raise awareness or anything. They have that urge to change. So having the urge to change and getting a change done are two similar things, but there's a narrow line that separates them both. So that is where, and there's a lot of outrage and ranting in terms of freedom of speech. The positives of freedom of speech is where, people are able to raise more awareness and criticize, for example, the government, any new policy, any company, anything that, that is really against the norms, or something that could have been done in a better way and could be seen like that. So, it's towards room for improvement, where things could have been done better
50
in a
seconds
way.
left.
Okay. So I'd like to conclude by saying that it's all fine as long as people have a free voice to speak about it. But when they get into outraging and quarreling towards different opinions, if their view of it, so that's when things become rough. And freedom of expression must have a limit, but our democracy gives it to us, so it must be used wisely. And it was uh, right that we have in our constitution. It's a right. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay, stop. Pretty well timed there. And Rajiv, what do you have to say or ask Anmol on the content that he just spoke about, the freedom of speech and expression?
Yeah. So Anmol, you spoke about both sides. Where do you draw the line? Where would you draw a line? Where freedom of expression goes too far, as you were starting to discuss a little bit towards the end.
Yes, freedom of expression goes too far when individuals take it towards personal benefit in the way that now on Instagram you'd have been very popular with reels, but reels is a way of which people are just ranting over social media. See, I'm not against anyone, but I'm using my freedom of speech to say that that it isn't really beneficial. It isn't doing you benefit or me benefit. You're just trying to start a wildfire, and we all know how wildfires go, and that isn't the best of interests, but it is a utopian vision, if you know. So I mean, things aren't always going to go our way, neither can we be control freaks. So as far as what we can do, we do.
Yeah. And
because everyone has an urge to change.
And who would make that determination as to where the line is?
That an individual should have it within themselves by the knowledge that is accessible in today's age. I don't think it is difficult for an individual to set those boundaries.
Okay. All right, good.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Wonderfully said, Anmol. Thank you so much. The next person to come on the virtual stage that we have here is Ayushi Chaudhary. She comes from a wonderful city in MP called Indore, which also happens to be one of my favorite cities, definitely for food, and she loves dancing and playing badminton. Ayushi, can you please turn your camera on for our stream or for all the audience to see the wonderful person who will be next speaking for 1.5 minutes?
Hello.
Hi, Ayushi. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Okay. So, are you prepared with what you have to say?
Yes, I'm prepared.
Wonderful, guys. Keep this sizzling, enchanting, and raunchy. As I said in the intro, be loud. Let everybody around us hear what you have to say. So, Ayushi, your 1.5 minutes start now.
What's my topic?
Your topic
it's
is
there in the chat box.
I believe you haven't read the topic. Okay. Guys, please keep checking the chat. I will be putting your topics in the chat, and you are supposed to get whatever time Rajiv's questioning the past candidate to prepare or just think about your topic. So, Ayushi, have you read through your topic? And please keep your video on because you're being streamed.
Okay.
Can you please turn your video on? Are you able to see your topic now? Ayushi, are you able to see your topic in the chat? Please say something. Okay. Ayushi, please unmute. I've asked you to unmute yourself.
Can you?
Yes, you can start. Or if you think that you need a minute's time more because you were not able to see your topic, we can do that. While we can,
Yes, I need 2 minutes.
I can't
to go to that topic.
I can give you a minute's time, and I'm going to start right now while we will talk to Rajiv for a minute. So Rajiv, meanwhile Ayushi is preparing, we would love to know what got you into debate. I was looking at your experience, and it was vast across investments and everything, and R&D and everything that you've done. What got you into debate, or was it a school time or college time?
So it was in high school. I started debating in high school. I grew up in the U.S., and so in high school I joined the debate team early on. My dad had actually nudged me, so he encouraged me to try it out and see how it goes. And so I started debating early in high school, continued through, absolutely loved it. I was involved in a number of other activities during high school, but debate was by far where I spent the most time, and it paid off, very well. And it was absolutely fun, exciting, engaging. I was involved across different formats and had a number of very good friendships that emerged through debate.
Oh, that's wonderful. And with that, Ayushi, we also stop with a minute of your time. Guys, this is an extempore. Feel confident about what you have to say. And the topics that we've chosen, we believe, are very relevant in the current times. So yeah, Ayushi, good to go. Also, one more thing, please keep your camera on while you're speaking. Guys, when Ayushi's minute is over, the next candidate, who is Shoraman's topic, will be put into chat. Shoraman, please keep your eye on the chat. Right, Ayushi, we are going to start with your time now. Start.
Okay. A very good evening to everyone present here. I am Ayushi Chaudhary from Indore, Madhya Pradesh, and my topic is on Sushant Singh Rajput case. So the first basic thing I want to say about Sushant, he's a very brilliant actor and has a good career. He done many movies like Chichore, Amazoni, and he had a wonderful career. But as we lost him on the as we lost him on January, the whole thing that comes in my mind, that drug case. Why drug case is important why drug case is linked to Sushant and to the NCB. Ma'am, can I speak in Hindi, both language?
Go ahead. Speak in Hindi. Rajiv, are you comfortable with Hindi?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. तो सुशांत सिंह राजपूत के बारे में मैं 3 चीजें कहना चाहूंगी कि पहली जो थी वो एक फिल्मी करियर जो था उनका वो बहुत ही अच्छा था, लेकिन जो दूसरा एस्पेक्ट उनका लाइफ का था वो बहुत एकदम डार्क एस्पेक्ट जो हमें से किसी को भी नहीं पता था ना। फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में हम जो बैक साइड होता है या फिर हम कह सकते हैं जो पिछला साइड रहता है वो बहुत ज्यादा ही हमें नहीं पता रहता है कि क्या होता है वहां पे, क्योंकि एनसीबी जो है वो पूरा कंट्रोल करती है। नार्कोटिक्स कंट्रोल ब्यूरो जो है वो ड्रग्स केस को रिलेट करती है, और सुशांत सिंह राजपूत केस में हम सीबीआई को मीडिया का इन्वॉल्वमेंट उसमें बहुत ज्यादा था, और मीडिया का इन्वॉल्वमेंट मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि 2 चीजों पे बेस्ड होना चाहिए। पहला कि वो किस वजह से उस आदमी के बारे में बोल रही हैं, और दूसरा कि क्या वो ओवरलैप कर रहे हैं उस चीज को या फिर कुछ ज्यादा ही दिखा रहे हैं। तो इंडियन मीडिया ने
Stop. Ayushi, that puts an end to your 1 minute 30 seconds. And now Rajiv can ask you questions on this very scandalized and much talked about topic.
Okay. And I just want to bring it back to the core topic here, which was around mental health awareness. So Ayushi, can you address that part of the topic? So what does this incident, this entire story teach us? What does it teach youth about mental health? This is a topic that we're very engaged in and interested in, in advancing. So I'd love to hear your views on this.
Okay. Mental health is basically very related to the physical health. As physical health is important, the mental health is also important. For everybody, the mental health is the backside or the shadow of a person. अगर आप एक इंसान की बात करते हैं तो वो आप उसको किस बेसिस पे देखेंगे? आप उसको फेशियल बेसिस पे देखेंगे, लेकिन आप उसके दिमाग के अंदर जो चीजें चल रही है आप उसको बिल्कुल भी जज भी नहीं कर पाएंगे। जैसा कि अभी हो रहा है, हम लोगों से मिल भी नहीं पा रहे हैं। लॉकडाउन की वजह से सब अपने अपने घर में पैक हो गए थे और सिर्फ एक ही रास्ता था जो कि फैमिलीज की वजह से ही हम एक दूसरे के द्वारा कह सकते हैं कि हम एक दूसरे से बाइंड हो पा रहे थे। हमारी फिजिकल हेल्थ और मेंटल हेल्थ उस बेसिस पे जज होती है कि आप किस तरह से स्पिरिचुअलिटी से रहते हैं, या फिर आप कह सकते हैं हम कि sorry, I can't speak.
So I understand what you're saying. But again, looking at the topic is around Sushant Singh, and so not around COVID. So how do you relate mental health awareness on this particular topic around Sushant Singh's demise? What can we learn? What are the lessons that we can learn from that?
The first basic thing that we learned from Sushant Singh Rajput case, we should not living alone in a city. I mean that he disconnected all his connections from his families as the news spreading this news, fake news. I don't believe that. बट द सुशांत सिंह राजपूत जो थे वो बिल्कुल एक सिंगल पर्सन की, मतलब उनका मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि उनके दो फेस थे। वो एक बाहर दुनिया में अलग थे और एक वो अपने अंदर कुछ और ही थे। तो हमें एक कह सकते हैं, हमें जैसे हम हैं हमको वैसे ही रहना चाहिए, और जो आगे का जो फेस है हमारा वो प्रॉपर रहना चाहिए।
Okay. All right, good. So I guess we can move on to the next student.
Yes, we can. And Shoruman Desai from Surat is our next participant. He is currently in class 12th and loves to debate, but he is massively obsessed with movies, is what he says. So, Shoruman, please turn your camera on.
Yeah, it's turned.
Hi, Shoruman. How are you today?
Yeah, hi. I'm fine. Nervous, but fine.
It's good to be nervous. It just puts you in the energy, is what I have heard. And Ayushi, you spoke very well, and the topic was much scandalized, and there were things written left, right, and center. But one message which I think I have for all the teenagers, and especially young teens, is that, you know, everything apart from Sushant Singh Rajput's demise, and the actors and the politicians and the drug board, all of them getting involved, the one thing to learn is that mental health is important, and let's not sideline that in terms of all the juicy gossips that come out of such, you know, news stories. So that is there. And Shoruman's topic is money spent on space exploration can be better used on reducing poverty in the world and in India. Shoruman, are you ready with your topic? And are you ready to start that?
Yeah, I'm ready.
That was a very confident yes. And your time starts now.
So while we are here speaking on this topic, we live in a room where we are governed by AC, and just outside my house there are people who can't even sit on a proper place, who don't have a place to sleep. So we all know that how India is one of the biggest countries which is facing poverty. But India is also a country which went to Mars in the first try. And you know how many people were happy when the day came. People were crying. And we all know the sad incident of Chandrayaan-2, where we were just this close to the victory of having our power and having our flag on moon. So, yeah, I feel that I somewhat agree to this topic and somewhat disagree. But I feel that poverty should be given a priority in this situation, because life is more important than discoveries, I believe. And I think that there should be a balance. Like, if there is a budget that is to be given, distributed between two people, two things, then I think poverty should be distributed. Like, it should have a greater share than space exploration. But it's not like that it should get 90% and space exploration gets 10%. So I believe that both things are important. And I believe that even space exploration is very important for a country like India, where like nowadays countries use this space exploration topic as a reputation topic, and our scientists are working day and night.
Stop, Shoruman.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You spoke very well, and you tried to justify both sides of the argument of the topic that you were presented with. Raji, what do you have to say about Shoruman's?
So Shoruman, so yeah, you straddled both sides of the topic. So I'd like to pin this down a little bit more. So you said, not 90-10. What ratio would you allocate between these two?
I think 60-40 or 60-40 would be fine. 60-40 would be fine.
Okay, so that's fairly even. My next question is, why even take away from the space budget? Why not find a different area to reallocate towards poverty versus taking away from space, which has been an important national goal and the spirit of many people in the country?
Well, I believe that as India is one of the largest populated country in the world, it's one of them. And in India, every person faces a lot of problem. So if we eliminate money or take out money from one sector, then I think people suffering problems from that sector would be more obliged, and they may face more problem. So I think that it should be balanced. Little money should be taken from everything, and it should be used on the right thing. And we all know how corrupted India is. Like in India, many processes take about 30 to it takes 10 to 12 years to just complete and find a justice for a case. So I believe that everything should be balanced and everything should be given importance in a country where everyone tries to be something new. We are trying to create something new, and at the same time we are trying to eliminate poverty, which is a major issue. So yeah.
And how would you allocate so that the money does go to people who are in the need?
A logical person would suggest we build a committee that takes care of this issue, but I think committees don't work in India. So a honest person or reputed person should take care of this process and understand that these people are more important than finding discoveries for such time. As in COVID issues, many people didn't even get to go to their houses lockdown, and many actors came up and they tried to make people go to their homes. So in lockdown, where economy is very low in India, I think these people who are very poor should be taken as first priority, other than space exploration, which is not a major issue right now.
Okay, sure.
Got it. Thank you so much, Shaurya, and we loved the way
Thank you.
With a pinch of salt that how a logical person was choose to make committees in India and how they don't work. But well, let's still keep our optimism high. Next up is Himani Khullar. She is a 16-year-old girl from New Delhi who is an active munner as well. She enjoys indulging in history and books and is preparing to be a lawyer. Himani's topic is news spread on social media does more harm than good for the betterment improvement of the subject in case. Recent reference case being boys' locker room. So it is something which teenagers have talked a lot about, and I think is very, very relevant in the current times for a teenager herself to speak about it. Himani, please turn your camera on.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. And are you set to speak on this topic?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so now I'm going to start your 1.5 minutes, and it starts now.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Himani Khullar, and my topic, as Ms. Aditi spoke, is about that news spread on social media does more harm than good for the betterment of the subject and case. Now, as globalization became prevalent since 1991, one aspect of it has been technology, due to which social media has gotten an advantage in the recent years, and in an era where social media influencers have made marketing agencies go out of business. My topic is that news spread on social media does more harm than good. Now, as a coin has two sides, so there are two sides to this argument. If we look at the examples that are mentioned in the topic, that is the boys' locker room, where some teenagers made a group on the social media site Instagram and talked very badly about some teenagers, girls, their classmates, their companions. Now, that is one downside of it. But if we look at the positive side, then they were caught because of social media, because the news spread at the pace that it did, through screenshots or through messaging, or the news outlets were able to contact those people. If we look at the second scenario, that is Baba Ka Dhaba, donations poured in from various celebrities, from people around the world. He received help, but at the same time, there was a controversy that the person who was responsible in making him famous took disadvantage of that situation and kept the money for himself. There are two sides to everything, so taking a stance on this is not possible, because if there are cases like these, then there are also cases such as the Black Lives Matter movement, which gained momentum through social media, and we witnessed protests in countries like Japan, where racism is not that much prevalent. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, I understand it was some topic where a lot of us can speak a lot about, but we have the time limit here, and Rajiv is ready, I think, to ask you.
So Himani, you were kind of covering both sides of the topic. I'd like to get a better understanding of where exactly you come out on this issue.
Yeah, sure. So my basic stance was that news spread on social media does harm, like in this, I gave some examples, but it also does good. For example, the Black Lives Matter movement or the Me Too movement Or if you take the Girl Up movement, which was started by YouTuber Lily Singh, which was basically to empower women and promote girls' education. She donated the proceeds from her video to Malala Fund, which is an organization that promotes girls' education. So there are many downsides of spreading news. If we look at the current scenario where most people don't read newspapers, they follow news outlets on Instagram. So news spread has a positive side also, but at the same time, there are some downsides because we can't ignore those things. But in a world where we are suffering from a global pandemic, I believe that we should focus on the positive sides as well.
So is it exactly equally balanced, or does it err on one side or the other?
I would say 60-40. Like
In
60
which-
being
in
the
which
positive
direction?
side and 40 being the negative side.
Okay, and on what basis do you come up with that?
Well, it's just my personal opinion because although we hear about the negative cases more often than the bad ones, but social media and online news outlets are a great source of information for me as well. So that's just based on my personal experience.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Well spoken, Himani. Next up, we have Shrika Pentakota. She is from Visakhapatnam and interestingly is leading a global team which is working on a webcomic. That is wonderful, Shrika. And please turn your camera on.
Hello.
Hello, Shrika. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Even I'm a bit nervous, but I hope that I'll get over it.
Yes, when you speak it out, it gets better. That's where you transfer your energy to the audience and to the crowd. Okay, guys, Shrika's topic is, should organ donation be made compulsory in India? Shrika, you ready?
Yes, totally.
Your time starts now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shrika, and today I would like to speak about should organ donation be made compulsory in India. Well, this is coming from my personal view. I would say that yes, because if we see, we know that there are many millions of people dying all over the world, and it can also be due to organ, since they lack organs and they're having organ failures. So, from my point of view, I believe that it should be made compulsory. But if we see from another side, we know that many people who are religious also believe that it's unethical for this to take place. So I believe that we should also see both the sides. If you see, society has given us so much since we are from our birth. Okay, so and I believe that we should also take this time to give back to the society, because if you take kidneys as an example, we have 2 kidneys, and if there is someone who is about to die, we could do so much more if we donate a kidney of ours. Obviously, it's not a simple thing to say, oh, donate your kidney. Of course it's not. Even I believe that too. But I would say that being a part of the society, if we do give something to the society and to the universe, it's something very good.
30 seconds remaining.
Mm-hmm. Also, I would say there is another side to this, that there are many religious people out there. So we should also be on the lookout for that. And we should not also try to go against what they believe in. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Well, you had a few seconds left and I took up your few seconds and spoke it out. Okay, Rajiv, how did Shrika do?
So Shrika, how do you balance both? How do you make it compulsory and yet balance the religious beliefs that many folks across the country would believe in? So how do you make this happen?
So I believe that if not in India, there could be many. Okay, so we could consider India also. There are people who are willing to do this, right? And in other countries where they don't think this is really, quite religious, I think if there are people willing to do this, then it is supposed to be made compulsory, because losing lives is very, it could bring a lot of grief to people, and it's something which should not be taken lightly.
So again, the topic is India. So where do you come out regarding India?
Okay, so from the stands of India, I believe that people who do not have this religious belief, it should be made compulsory for them, because not all religions believe in this. So those whose religions do not exactly believe in this, I feel that they should go for it. And also, if they do have religions which believe in this, there are still some good people out there who are willing to do this for the betterment of others and give back to the society.
And who would you expect would mandate this, though? Would the government mandate this?
I would say that though I wouldn't say that the government should be doing this, because again, everybody should be having this free will where they get to decide. So I feel that an organization could like take this as, you know, their main agenda, so that people who are willing to come up could actually help out.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Okay, Shrika, thank you so much. That was well spoken. Next up, we have Sagnik, who is from Calcutta and has been debating for 2 years now. Sagnik is also very, very interested in politics. Sagnik, are you ready? Can we please see you on the screen?
Yes.
Please turn your video on. Okay, now I can see you and you look very fine this evening. Sagnik's topic is data is the new oil. Okay, very interesting. Sagnik, are you ready to start with your topic?
Yes, I am obviously.
Okay, and your 1 minute 30 seconds start now.
Good morning, everyone. My topic is data is the new oil. Who said this phrase? Clive Humby. And what is the meaning of this? Well, we all know that data is the new oil because it has a lot of potential. In its raw form, data is the same equivalent to oil. It can be processed and refined into useful commodity. We know wealth is built upon the raw commodities, which are transformed into useful products. So, data has been utilized by many to form wealthy fortunes. Many, including Mr. Ambani, have formed their rich fortunes, including data. Geo, the venture Geo, has transformed. Excuse me.
30 seconds were remaining. Go ahead.
The Geo has been transformed India's data economy fully. It has transformed itself into a conglomerate which is producing a lot of currency and revenue. So how can we deny that data is a new oil? It is providing a lot of support to the modern telecommunication system. Therefore, I conclude that data is the new oil. The gold, the black gold is really data.
Okay, wonderful, Sagnik. And okay, you finished before time. Well, that's very wonderful. You kept it precise and concise. Rajiv, what do you have to ask Sagnik?
Okay. So Sagnik, I like your analogy. Where do you see data going in the future? So oil has had a long history of importance over the past century. Where do you see the implications for data going forward, looking at it as the new oil?
Well, oil is a conventional resource. It can be totally finished within just a few years from now. We are hearing it daily that oil will be completely diminished in the few years. But data is a resource that we can utilize for centuries from now. And it is a bright future, I assure you, because data is a global thing. It is not just concentrated in some areas. It is being provided to every human, almost every human in the developed countries. And it is very, very important in the progress of modern human society.
So what aspect makes data different than oil?
Well, does it have any other competition? Oil has solar energy, wind energy. But where is the competition for data? Can you tell me, sir, where is the competition for data? Can you transform data into anything more useful?
So again, oil had that competition much later. It did have other competitors like coal and other forms of fossil fuels, but solar, wind, and so forth came up many decades later. So what do you see as the difference relative to data?
Well, now I cannot forecast the future in the present, but I can say that I, in the modern day, can see a lot of bright future for the data because it is being utilized and I don't see any other alternative for it. What can we use instead of data to channel into our computers, into our phones, into our mobiles? It has earned more than oil in the last few years than oil has done in the last few centuries. What are we kidding of now?
Okay, good. Continue on.
Thank you, sir.
So I think the renewable energy sources were the sources that came, the point that Rajiv also made, that they came decades after oil. And I think the decades have just started for data being, exploited at the level, leveraged at the level that it is being. I think with AR, MR, VR, all of that coming in and sort of security numbers, and emotional intelligence, there's quite a scope of definitely new alternatives coming in. But at this point, it might be a little naive of us to see what that would be. Next we have is Humaid, who is from Navi Mumbai, and he says he loves to participate in debates and in MUNs. Humaid, please turn your camera on. Humaid, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can surely hear you all.
Okay, wonderful. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and I'm really super excited to be here.
Okay, that's very good energy, and we love it. So, guys, Humaid's topic is it really worth to become a cashless economy? Well, that is one thing which everybody here knows that FamPay has taken a side on already, and we would love to see or love to know your thoughts on that. So, Humaid, your 1.5 minutes starts now.
Okay, so good evening, everybody. As you all know my topic, so I will now like to begin with it. I will not say that indeed becoming a cashless economy or being a cash economy will be worth it or not worth it, because as you see the aspect ratio of the literature rate, I will say that many people are literate and they know the benefits of cashless economy, while as being in rural areas, the people are not that much educated to understand cashless economy better. So people need to make aware them about the benefits of these things. And I would also like to say that adding to the point of being a cashless economy is worth it. Cashless economy is indeed a positive thing for an economy, but Indian government should increase the spending on internet penetration in the rural areas. And new strict and stringent laws need to improve in the cyber security in the country itself and in other countries also. Continuous and uninterrupted supply of power to banks must be provided constantly. And also, just talking about cyber security and all stuff, we can say that many companies are taking the initiatives to make little children learn coding. For example, we can say White Hat Junior has now came up with an initiative to make children learn coding in a very small age. So they are the bright future of a country too. So if they learn coding at such an early age, they can also provide cyber security and very tight cyber security so that no one could penetrate it.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed the deadline, but please go ahead. You have 20 seconds more.
Okay, so I will just like to conclude with this, that it's worth of becoming an economy which is totally cashless. But I would also like to say that we equally need to make people aware who are not literate that how it is worth and how positive it is for a country. That's
so okay, cool. Thank you so much, Humaid. You spoke very well and very fast, which is fantastic for a debate. Rajiv, what question do you have for Humaid?
Yeah, so Humaid, you covered multiple topics within that as you were bouncing through all of these, from cashless to poverty and cybersecurity and so forth. Let's focus back on cashless economy. What do you see as 3 key benefits to the economy from cashless?
The cashless economy will be, it will be secure in the first step. It will be secure and it will be hassle-free. It is very easy to access, and it will save time and equally save money too.
Okay. And any issues that you see in terms of rollout, aside from, I know you talked about training and building awareness, any issues or concerns you would have?
The same issue, the main issue here is the cyber security. I mean, the transactions of the money and all. As we all know that in this year too, we have faced many cyber security attacks, which are indeed an harm for a cashless economy. So we need to make a better protection for the internet. And also we need to pay our attention towards it greatly.
Okay. All right, good.
Okay, wonderful, Humaid. Thank you so much for being here. And next up is Prajay, who hails from Delhi, and he loves debating new ideas and also likes to listen to new perspectives. Well, that is something which doesn't really go with the debater image, but wonderful note to know that there is someone out there who loves listening to new perspectives. And Prajay, please turn your video on. Okay, guys, as soon as I announce your names, turn your videos on, right? Let people see you for the maximum time possible. And Prajay, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm fine.
Okay, you're keeping it short and concise. And his topic is the pandemic and the lockdown have increased cases of domestic violence in India. Prajay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Your time starts now.
All right, so right off the bat, I'd like to make my stance very clear. It is very true that domestic violence has increased. However, what we don't take into consideration is that domestic violence does not stop at physical violence. So it is also equally, if not more important, that we take into consideration emotional abuse as well. Now, coming to the point of children, especially queer children, they had the chance initially to stay out of their homes to explore themselves while they were outside. But now, when the choice is between dying outside and like having the opportunity to stay safe inside, I think most children would choose to stay at home. But while this is true, we have to address that domestic abuse is not something that has just started during the lockdown, and I believe we must start at a grassroots level if we are ever to eradicate this problem from our country. So I have a few suggestions for that. First is that we can start teaching students from the primary level that domestic abuse and emotional abuse, firstly, how to recognize domestic and emotional abuse, and secondly, how to not do that. Like how to remain in a sane mental state. Secondly, we could improve the helpline facilities and helpline numbers that are in practice right now. And there's also social media abuse, which has increased because people are more on their phones all of the time, and they are being abused for things like depression and
Stop. And thank you so much. Spoke very well. Prajay, now Rajiv will ask you a few questions, and let's hear them.
Prajay, I like that you actually came up with some potential solutions or ideas as well. So that's good. That's commendable. What do you see as the root cause, though? Why has the pandemic led to this increase in violence cases?
I think because as a male, I can say this for sure that I've been forced to evaluate myself and how the social structure at home is. So I think that has made a huge difference, because earlier people were ignoring the work that many people did at home. Like they were ignoring it because it was not being paid. So I think that's what was causing the thing in the starting. And I think that is the origin of the whole domestic abuse thing.
So I'm not clear in terms of what you mean by that. So you're trying to use your own example, but the case is about more broadly an increase in domestic violence. And so why is it that in that general population that there is an increase in domestic violence?
I think I believe it's the fact that most of domestic violence is against women, and so I think that there's a degree of sexism that is the root cause of all of these problems. So I think that's that.
But so that exists both pre and post COVID as well.
In this situation, but it has been aggravated during the lockdown.
So the question is, what has led to that aggravation? What has led to an increase?
I think because you stay at home and you're forced to evaluate what it is that you're thinking and what it is that you're doing in terms of improving the situation. So I think that's what could improve the situation in the future.
Okay.
Got it. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Prajay. Next up we have is Afkas Muhammad, and he's from Kerala and says that he's very interested in public speaking, cooking, voluntary activities, and all of the good things that are out there in the world. Afkas's topic is, are corporate jobs a new form of slavery? Can we have you on the screen, Afkas?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
You're doing good? And are you ready with your topic to speak on your topic?
Yes.
Okay, well, starting with it. 1, 2, 3, go.
Good afternoon, everyone. And my topic is, are corporate jobs a new form of slavery? While talking about slavery, which was a system of, which was an evil system which existed centuries ago. So we cannot, familiarize the hard realities that people face in the corporate world with that of slavery, because it was a different era and it was a different generation. But there are still some familiarities, like the bondage that some corporate jobs have bondage, that you have to work for a specific period of specific time period, and which was similar to laborers who were bonded to their masters. And also there are similar familiarities like the overwork that the engineers and overwork people from the IT sector experience. And we cannot actually substantiate that the corporate jobs are a new form of slavery, but we can say that there are some familiarities and similarities of the hard realities that they face. That's it.
Okay. So we're stopping at 1:20, and well spoken, of course. Rajiv, sir, what do we have to say?
Okay. So, Afkas, can you expand on that? So, you mentioned a couple times there were some similarities and so forth. What specifically are you thinking about? Because in a slave-based system, it is inherently against the will of that individual, whereas in a corporate world, that individual, the employee, is willingly seeking employment, with that particular company. So what are the similarities that you're thinking of? I just want to probe a little bit deeper there.
Yeah, the similarities, like there are some things like time-bound projects, and also the work hours, like 10 to 12 hours working conditions will be, we cannot promise better working condition in all the fields. So at times we can see that it becomes somewhat familiar with the slavery. And as you talked about the will of the people and the will of, I think the will of people who work in the corporate jobs are controlled by other factors like what can we say, poverty and family background and some things like that.
Just what do you mean by that? Just elaborate on that last point.
Yeah, because earlier people did those jobs because that was inherent, but now they do because of some other factors like they might not be receiving other jobs and etc.
Okay. All right, we can move on.
Okay, well, thank you so much for speaking. Of course, next we have, and our last candidate is Harshmeet Singh, who hails from Faridabad and also says, okay, Pratapgarh is the place where he is from. And he is in class 12 and listening to pop music and reading books is his hobby. Harshmeet, we still don't see you yet.
My camera is on. Hello.
Oh, yes, your camera is on. And a very enthusiastic chap. Harshmeet, are you ready to speak today?
Yes, I am.
Okay, his topic is Eastern parenting style is better than Western. When we say Eastern, guys, it basically accounts for Indian and Asian parenting styles, also considered to be a little conservative. One of my favorite topics for the evening. Harshmeet, are you ready to start now?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay.
Time starts. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hello everyone, I am Harshmeet Singh and today my topic is Eastern parenting style is better than Western? So according to me, let's first know about what is the Eastern parenting style and what is the Western parenting sides. So let's start with the Eastern. Eastern is they are very financially good and they want their children to give the financially support for the better future. But as we can see in the Western side, they just stick to the agenda like they need to, they just want to children to learn their self, what is the life is. And it is very hard to say that it is a better or it is not better like parenting system, but it is, I think, every parents have their own choice to how they want to make their children to go on the way. And both system is very good because parents are clear to the children's to making their future bright, as well as they also want that children's also need to learn how to make the way in their life. So as we can see in the Eastern side, they also provide a good education, and they just don't provide the realistic skills. Like in the Western one, they provide a realistic thing, like they can they just give the real life example. They just go through the real life and making them the experience in reality. But as we can see in the Western, they just provide a good education and make them to be in a good system and stick by the today's generation. So as I can say, I cannot say which is the better and which is not, because I'm not that good, or I'm not that great as a judge to judge them.
I'm so sorry, I missed out the timeline, but you just stopped at 1:35. Well, that's good. And Rajiv here now has a question for you.
Okay. So let's talk about, you were speaking about the Western philosophy a little bit. And so can you explain what you mean in terms of in the West that they're able to perceive and provide more realistic experiences?
Okay, so as I said, in the Western, they give the real life example that they don't provide only the everything. Like they do not provide each and everything to the their children to make their life easier. They just tell them to go through it. To just go there and just learn by yourself. I will not gonna tell you. You have to learn by yourself. That's your life. So that was that mean in that particular line.
Okay, and then you also seem to be kind of balanced between the two. And so for these benefits that you're showing on the Western side, what aspects of the Eastern philosophy do you feel counters, some of the benefits that you've cited on the West?
Yes, because I just balance the both side, because because no one can tell the parents how to treat their children, because we are not capable of. Even the government cannot say that you have to take care of your children like this or like that, because nobody can tell you how to treat your children, because that's our constitution say that is our freedom of speech, and that is we cannot say to anybody do whatever we want, because it's a democratic country. So
sure. Okay, good.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for making it here today. We are done with all of our 10 finalists. And thank you so much, Raji, for taking the time out and asking all of these wonderful, insightful, very intuitive questions to our participants. Guys, also, I apologize on behalf of myself and FAMPE team if something did not work out in between. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. This is also a lot of first time, sometime when we're trying new things out for our audience out there, which is watching us live on YouTube. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here and, in essence, and wishing all the very best for our participants. Rajiv, now we would love to hear about your experience in the US and in India. What got you into debate, as you already mentioned that, and how you went through that, and also about your experiences in the financial sector, in the education sector, and how it has been, being a part of the leadership team for Stanford undergrad applicant interview process.
Sure. So I'll cover some of that in brief. As I mentioned earlier, I grew up in the US. Debate was a passion of mine. I'll say that there were several aspects of debate that were very helpful for me, right off the bat in school itself. So debate was helpful in terms of increasing the pace at which I could process information and the pace at which I could write papers and reports and so forth. And because you get very used to training your mind to process through data information much faster in the context of a round where you're under time pressure, you become good generally at doing that in other contexts, other subjects, and so forth as well. So I think one immediate advantage that I saw both in high school and then at Stanford was just being able to work through assignments much faster and completing papers, writing papers much faster, being able to organize them in a way that would be persuasive towards the audience that it was targeted for. Other areas that the debate helps in are in your critical thinking. So being able to think critically about topics. One of the points that I will guide the group here a little bit on is instead of, because if you only have a minute and a half is not too much time to be straddling both sides of an issue. And so it's better to take a call, make a decision one way or the other, and then proceed ahead in that path versus kind of flip-flopping between multiple sides. And I understand many of these topics are such where your opinions may be on one or the other side, or you may have balanced views on some of this, but it is easier generally to take a particular side, go deeper in it, versus a cursory view on on both sides of that. So a few of you I thought did better at that, and that's important as you are looking at information, whether that's in school and college or in a workplace. You want to be able to drill down to what's important in whatever it is that you're analyzing or you're viewing for your company. So I worked on Wall Street for a number of years. Another area that I found debate to be a very helpful one was in research. As a debater, you are constantly researching, you are looking through evidence. That's something that I think this format gives very little time. So just having a couple of minutes is not a whole lot of time to be able to do research. But generally in most formats of debate, you'll have a little bit more time to actually dive in, find data, statistics, analysis, expert views, sources that can back you up. And debate is not about arguing. Debate is not about just expressing your own opinions. You want to be providing evidence-based views. And so that means looking at the data, looking at information, looking at other sources and experts who have studied that information and be able to draw that into your analysis. And that's what makes it more substantive. And that becomes a more convincing argument also if it's not just your personal opinion. So try to always bring more evidence in the context of your analysis. And so that was something that I found very helpful throughout my time across financial services and in different aspects of mergers and acquisitions on Wall Street, as well as in corporate development and other roles that I had on the street. Post that time in New York and on Wall Street, I moved to India about 8-9 years ago now, and I've been involved in a number of entrepreneurial pursuits over here. But I think one that I'm very passionate about, it's been a pet project of mine over the past year, has been launching Speech Debate India, and we launched really to help give kids a voice and help bring U.S.-style debate to India. And so US-style debate is very rigorous. We tend to do policy debates in our tournaments. And it's something where, again, research is highly valued. Collaboration is an important skill in the workplace. All of you who are part of FamPay, you know that well in terms of the value of good collaborative skills and teamwork in order to drive success in a product and a new business, as you guys have launched. And so collaboration is an important skill for Speech Debate India, where we want kids to really be working with one another, debating, evaluating, thinking about what policies should governments, whether it's the Indian government or the US government or Europe or other parts of the world, be looking at that would be helpful to citizens and various needs that we all see in different parts of the world. And so this is an initiative that I'm very passionate about. I'm very happy to see it take off over the past year. We have a number of different formats that we run, different formats of debate. We have different courses and so forth that we have available for kids of different ages. And so that's been a lot of fun to launch here.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for sharing these insights with us. It was wonderful having you with us here. And do let us know if you would be available to answer some of the questions that our finalists have. In favor of time, guys, I think we will have to conclude here, but I think we will keep in touch. And now that FamPay and Speech Debate India, both of these organizations have collaborated for this event, next up we will hear a lot more from each other. Also an announcement, guys, for the winners that will be announced at 9 p.m. at the closing ceremony of FamPay. The skilling sessions are being sponsored by Speech Debate India for the winners, and the information on that will also be let known to all of you. With that, we conclude here. Thank you so much for being with us. And next up we have is our talent show, which is F for Fame and Comics team together. So thank you so much, Rajiv, and we will see you on the other side.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Good luck to all the students. You guys did a great job. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much.